Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. This is Radio Biafra HAUSA-SERVICE coming to you via the auspices of Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Chinedu. Today is the second day of November in the year of our Lord 2021. Without wasting time, we are going to go direct to the HOD of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Chika Edoziem, to address Biafrans and lovers of freedom worldwide. Mazi, welcome to the program. Go on, please. The platform is yours.
Right. Thank you so much, Mazi Jonathan, and I believe I am coming out very clear.
You are coming out crystal clear.
Thank you. Good evening. Good afternoon, good morning, and good night to you, wonderful and great people of Biafra. My name is Mazi Chika Edoziem. I come from Ihe Oma. Ihe Oma is in Olo province of Biafra land. And by the grace of Chukwu Okike Abiama Premier, I serve the indigenous people of Biafra in the Directorate of State as the head of directorate. I want to begin this evening with a greeting from the Supreme Leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to the IPOB family worldwide. Like we all know, we are all dear to the heart of the leader of this great movement, and he continuously, unceasingly continue to put all of us in prayers and commit us into the hand of Chukwu Abiama. And we as well must continue to commit our leader into the hand of Chukwu Okike, that he may continue to abide, strengthen, and lead him accordingly, and of course, grant him victory over our enemies. Great Biafrans, it is with a heavy heart that I am addressing you tonight because of what is going on in our land, what carnage that the Nigerian government is causing in Biafra land. They are no longer hiding their intentions. They are making it very clear and very open. Even that those who cannot see, that they will understand, that they will feel, that they will know that the Nigerian government has activated its final solution to the Biafran problem, as they said, because they tried that final solution in 1967 to 70, but Chukwu Abiama did not allow our race to be wiped off the face of the earth. He was merciful unto us, despite our sins and transgressions, despite the fact that we turned our back unto him, in whom we live, move, and have our being. He did not allow the plan of the enemy to be accomplished. But we know that Lucifer does not give up until you roundly and squarely defeat him and chase him out of his comfort zone. The Nigerian soldiers are moving around in communities and villages in Biafra land, committing mayhem, open mayhem. They have not seen any ESN to fight with, because this arm of IPOB, they are not on the streets. They are in the bushes, making sure that our bushes and our farmlands are safe for our mothers to farm, for our fathers to farm, for our sisters and our daughters to go to the farm. Now, out of disappointment, because they brought in all the equipment that they would use to levy war upon us, they did not find any opposition in the form of ESN. Now they have turned their guns upon our women and our children. They have turned their guns upon our youths, upon our elderly. They are going from village to village. It was in Anambra yesterday. Today it was in Enugu State. Day before it was in Ebonyi State. And as we speak, mayhem is still going on in Imo State. And you ask yourself, people are wondering, even those who are not Biafrans are wondering, where then are those who are supposed to be leaders and elders in these communities or in the whole of Biafra land for that matter? Where are those who claim to be leaders? Where are those who claim to be politicians and are political leaders or whatever they call themselves? Where are they? They have remained silent while the murder and cold-blooded massacres are going on in Biafra land. Because some of them are part of the arrangement. The Nigerian army, the Nigerian government, they are the people who put up the unknown government and all the other armed groups that are causing unimaginable mayhem in Anambra State, that caused mayhem in Imo State, that caused mayhem in Enugu State and Ebonyi State and every other part of Biafra land for that matter. The Nigerian DSS, the Nigerian police, the Nigerian army, they recruit these people because they want to create an environment of chaos and anarchy in our land. Their ultimate goal is to tell the world that they are killing terrorists. Because if you remember their what is it called? The special advisor to the president, Garba Shehu, said that they are working hard, very hard, to have IPOB designated as terrorist movement by foreign nations that are very sympathetic to them. They are working hard to tarnish the very good image of the indigenous people of Biafra led by our leader, Mazi Chika Kanu. This explains the siege of our land. This explains the mayhem that they themselves have put up, have planned, and are coordinating all these killings in our land. Because part of these, their handwork is to compel media organizations and media houses in the zoo to attribute all the crimes that are being committed, that they are committed, that the Nigerian security apparatus are committing in our land. They are compelling the zoo media, of course, that we know. It is the zoo media, of course, is the highest bidder takes it all. That is, if you can pay them, and they can write what you want them to write. There are no investigative journalism in their dictionary. Now they are compelling them. The minister, the arch liar, the minister of is it communication or information? He calls himself, yes, Minister of Information, Liar Mohammed, and the NBC. They are pressuring and threatening and compelling the zoo media that every crime that the zoo commit, the zoo military and armed forces and security apparatus commit in Biafra land, every crime they commit, every murder, every evil that they are doing in our land, that the media in the zoo must attribute it to IPOB, ESN, because of their agenda to do what? To tarnish our image and convince the world community to designate IPOB as terrorist organizations. Liar Mohammed said that they have to up their game. They have to up their game. It's not only that they have to up their game in the sense of, being committed to, presenting facts to the world. No, they have to up their game in lying, in deception, in making sure that they brought the narrative that will paint the indigenous people of Biafra and ESN in the darkest of light. That is the reason that our land has been turned into a war zone. That is the reason that our villages and communities are under great siege, as if nothing else matters. There are videos being circulated all over the place of these murderers, terrorists, ex-Boko Haram and ex-ISWAP members, terrorists, who the zoo have recruited into their army for the specific reason of shipping them down to Biafra land and use them to commit all the atrocities that they are committing at this very moment. Our people must know that this is the final battle. Our people must understand that there cannot be any retreat on our side. They must understand that any contemplation of a retreat is is like you have signed your death warrant. You have agreed that your race must or should be emasculated, that your race will be annihilated. Our people must understand that any difficulty or any sacrifices that we are making today, tomorrow, or that we already made in the past, that this very moment that we have found ourselves, we are required to tighten our belt and make sure that we are not distracted in any manner, shape, or form. They will come with different stories and different news or whatever they may think is newsworthy. But these things are to distract you, to make the atrocity that they are committing in our land to be on a lower scale. They will introduce stories in the papers in order for them to ensure or to try to see if they can relegate the point or the fact that our leader is being illegally incarcerated and that our leader was renditioned and that they are holding him still in their DSSS dungeon. But we must not allow this to happen. We must not allow that the zoo shall be the one who will be, giving the narrative that the people must be following. Our media warriors, you must tighten your belt because this is the last battle. This is the time where all of us must do that for which we have been called for this very moment. I have a message for the Fulani caliphate. And that message is a very simple one. Release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Chika Kanu, unconditionally. And accede or agree to the referendum for the Biafran people. This is the message I'm giving the Fulani caliphate, because they are the real Fulani leaders and not the cabal in Asurok. The real Fulani leaders in the zoo must compel the cabal at the presidency or whatever they call themselves to release Onyendu now. They have no choice. They must release him now. And they have between now and the 4th of this month, that is 4th of November 2021, to release our leader. Today being the 2nd of November 2021, the zoo has barely 2 days to release our leader unconditionally. The zoo, they can. And of course, we know they will empty their treasury. And they are already emptying their treasury. They have emptied their treasury. They are borrowing money. In his belief and in his attempt, in his warped belief that they are going to stop the inevitable from happening. And that inevitable is that Biafra restoration must happen. That inevitable is that the sovereign and independent Biafran nation must be a reality. It must stand. Whether as human beings like it, whether the zoo like it, whether the spirits like it, it has been ordained by Elohim Chukwabiyama that Biafra must stand and it must be restored. Therefore, the Fulani cannot stop Biafra from coming. They cannot stop the restoration of Biafra. Biafra will come despite all the armaments that they have transported into our land. Despite all the 30,000 plus personnel that you are pushing into Biafra land. Despite the killings that you are committing in our land, the atrocity that you are committing in our land presently, and whatever else that you want to throw at us. Today, the 2nd of November, I tell you, that all these will be a waste effort because Biafra has been ordained that it must come. And it will come in our lifetime. It will be restored by this generation led by the supreme leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The enemy cannot stop this from happening. And why am I asking the caliphate to impress upon the cabal in Aso Rock to unconditionally release our leader and agree to a referendum? Why am I asking them? I am asking them because at the end of all this, at the end, if they continue the path that they are treading, at the end of all this, the Fulani in West Africa will be in a very, very big danger. If the option the Aso Rock cabal chooses is confrontation and war, I wish to repeat myself. At the end of all this, despite and in spite of the weapons of war that you have transported into our land, notwithstanding the thousands and tens of thousands of personnel that you have also flooded our land with, one thing is sure and one thing is certain. If you choose and continue to go on this path of confrontation with the Biafran people, if you continue to trust in your chariots and your horses, and you are spoiling for war, Biafra will come. But not only that, Biafra must come and shall come. The Fulani in West Africa will be in a very grave danger, because you will have started a tsunami that will not stop until the anger of Chukwu upon the Fulani race for the blood of the innocent that they have spilled in our land, for the blood of the poor and the widow, of the fatherless, of the motherless, that they have spilled in our land. His anger will not return until that blood which you have shed in our land and spilled to desecrate the holy land of Biafra, until it is avenged 100-fold. This is my message tonight to the Fulani Caliphate. And this message, they will ignore it at their own peril. And I said initially before that this battle has gone beyond the physical. The spirit that owns Biafra land, our people are seeing what we are suffering. Yes, we are suffering. It breaks our heart to see the blood that is being wasted. But stay on, great and brave Biafrans, for our salvation is not very far away. For Chukwu will, of course, deliver his people from the hands of the bloodthirsty jihadists from the Futajala mountains. I want to and I wish to commend this very evening our Council of Traditional Rulers, the custodians of our customs and culture. I want to commend them, and I want to commend as well the council or the clergy as well, comprising the bishops and the archbishops, who had a joint communique with our traditional rulers, and who spoke for the very first time as fathers and elders whose children are going through untold hardship. They have spoken, or they spoke as fathers who have seen the suffering of their children and who can no longer simply ignore or keep quiet. I wish to commend them, and I also want to urge them to continue in that path, because it is with their outspoken comments and their outspoken concern that will, of course, tell the outside world that indeed there are still elders in this land or in this part of the world. I wish to commend them, and I urge them to continue in that path, because they as well have a part to play. It's not just the youths that are hopelessly or that see the situation as hopeless. I mean that the contraption they found themselves, it is a hopeless situation that the youth of Biafra have found themselves in, the contraption called Nigeria. Our elders must understand that what the youths are fighting for is for their own benefit as well. If they, as our elders, cannot come on the street, we are not even asking them to come on the street. Of course, we are not asking them to be physically take physical part as the youth will, but their moral support can, of course, do a lot of good to these very youth, committed youth, who are doing what they have been called to do, to safeguard our land, and of course to ensure that our land is not overrun by the enemy. Great Biafrans, I want to tell you tonight that we have said that our leader must be released unconditionally. And that which we said yesterday is what we are saying tonight, and what we are maintaining on this Tuesday, the 2nd day of November 2021. And failing which, the Biafra land will be locked down from the 5th of November up until the 10th of November 2021, which is the date that the case of our leader was adjourned to from their last clownish, court process or court proceedings that they had on the 21st. Our stand is a simple one. The whole of Biafra land will go on lockdown mode from the 5th of November if by midnight of 4th of November 2021 our leader is not unconditionally released. And while we are doing that, there are some concerns by some people who are saying the leadership must not give an exception, like we said Sunday. It will be a day that people can go for worship, but specifically, I want our people to understand. Yes, Sunday is a worship day for those who go to churches. But the main reason why we gave Sunday as an exception is for our people to be able to stock up for the 3 days coming after the first 2 days of the sit at home. Our people must be allowed to stock up their foodstuffs and whatever they may need, and the Sunday will be a day that we will allow people to be able to do this. But I want to say something very, very important to people. Don't allow yourself to fall into a situation of carelessness or of not being alert. Because don't forget, the enemy is still around us. You can imagine how many thousands of personnel they brought in. Many of them are not in police barracks or army barracks or in a group places. Some of these people are in our hotels. And talking about hotels, the hotel proprietors and owners must be aware that there are many who are part of the executioners, part of the killing squad that the zoo have brought into our land, that many of them are lodging in your hotels. Many of them are your guests. You must, as a hotel proprietor or a hotel owner, you must be at alert and you must be watchful. You must you must take note of those that you are giving accommodation in your hotel, because they may turn out to be those who will even attack your hotel when the order is given for them to do so. They have a lot of sleeping cells all over the place. But we are watching every of their move, every of their step. We are watching them. And we will be exposing all of their plans to alert the Biafran people so that they do not fall victims to these murderers and bloodsuckers. I want to make a very important announcement tonight. A very, very important announcement. And everyone must pay attention. The IPOB USA treasurer, in the person of Mrs. Rita Eze-Ise. Some people call her Madame Moivo as well. I don't know if she has, but that's by the way. Mrs. Rita Eze, the IPOB USA treasurer, from tonight has been relieved of our position as IPOB USA treasurer. The account that this lady is managing for IPOB, which is the Umweri Arodi Areli account in USA, is hereby shut down. This account cannot be used anymore for any ESN fundraising. Do not put your money as if you're an IPOB family member or you're a sympathizer of IPOB, you are a Biafran, you want to support what the IPOB is doing to liberate our land. You should not put your hard-earned funds into Umu, Eri, Arodi, Areli account in USA. This account that is managed, or that from tonight, of course, it is managed by Mrs. Rita Eze. Mrs. Rita Eze herself has been relieved of her position as IPOB treasurer. Anyone dealing with her is dealing on her own, on his own. You are not dealing with IPOB anymore. And in addition to Mrs. Rita Eze, these individuals are hereby expelled from IPOB family. Number one, Mazi Ndubisi Ejiasi, formerly a rep, a zonal, a regional rep in the USA, is hereby expelled. Mazi Olive Obi, also formerly a representative, that is a regional rep, is hereby tonight expelled from IPOB. Mazi Onyeka, formerly of Ontario, a regional rep of Ontario, is as well hereby expelled from IPOB. I am giving a warning to these two women, Mrs. Rosemary William and Mrs. Azoka Charles Wankwo. It could be that your name is being used without your permission, but I want to give you the benefit of that. From tonight, if your name continues to be used by these evil people in our midst, those who are doing the work of their master, if you allow your name to continue to be used by them, then it means that you are accused. It means that you knowingly and deliberately is in consent with their evil plan, which is to destabilize this great movement. And then from that moment will the leadership do the appropriating. But for now, these two women turn a good leaf because we allow people to change from their mistakes. I have something to tell those who are moving around, mounting and parroting the what do they call it? IPOB, North America under Mazi Chika Kanu. What nonsense. Listen, when this issue started, when this problem started to grow a little bit, I remember I told Mrs. Rita Eze Onyise, or Rita Eze, or I hope I get it properly, but Rita Eze, I think that's her name. I told her that IPOB is beyond being hijacked by anybody. It cannot happen. We will allow you to come out openly. We will allow you to show your intentions, to show your motive, and then we'll cut off your head. Because this movement cannot be hijacked. Those who gave you the work, those who gave you the assignment to go and destabilize IPOB, while they are killing our people in our land, and you are trying to distract us with the cooked up distractions. That's because some of these things that we see on being distributed, they actually do not make one iota of sense. Now, those of you, I told her and two other women. I told them that this movement cannot, if you think this movement can be hijacked, you cannot do that. It's not possible. Not that you cannot, but you are not, Amubonya, that person has not been bound. And it has not been, it does not exist. The person who will hijack this very movement. They thought it was a joke. And they continued in their way. They continued in their evil machination. They continued to cause mayhem and confusion in this family. And until we clearly understood where they were coming and where they are going. And we are cutting it off. IPOB is one central command. One central command, and that central command is Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There is no IPOB Europe under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nonsense. There is no IPOB Asia under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or IPOB South America under Mazi Nnamdi. See, so you people must understand. When I was saying the last time that they tried the three-pod, they tried the whatever pod the DSS tried during the first time our leader had issue. They knew that there is no way that they will set up another freedom fighting outfit to rival this great movement. So what they went back to the drawing board and they said, let us try to take it from within. And that is why you're seeing these daughters of perdition. That is why you see some of these men who did not fully drink from their mother's breast, that they have agreed to be the hand by which the enemy will attempt to destroy this movement. And all the efforts that they have made. And when I was always saying, when these people write something, read between the lines, because they are confessing. The spirit of Biafra will make them to confess. Read deep and think very thoroughly. They are saying that they wanted the DOS after 5 days of our leader not being available. They already saw their vision that the Biafran people would reject the DOS. The plan was to do what? To turn the leadership upside down and to create something parallel to that and take it from within. So, but they did not count on the hardcore members of this very leadership that Onyendu has put in place. And their time has come, and their time is now. We will begin to weed many of them out very gradually and very sustained, in a very sustained manner. If you are an IPO principal servant, I repeat this again, and you are found dealing with any of these people that has been expelled and removed from this family, it means that you have taken a deliberate step and a conscious action, and you will be held responsible for that deliberate act and that very conscious action that you have taken, because knowing that all that actions and steps, that they are in complete disagreement and in complete conflict with the agenda of this great movement, with the objective of this very great movement, of course, with the fundamental goal or aim of this very movement. You are warned. On Sunday, I will be having a meeting with the 4 regional reps in the United States. the mountain region, the central, the eastern zone, eastern region, and mountain, eastern, central, and which one am I missing? I think there are 4 of them. So, but the point is that I'm going to have a meeting on Sunday with the 4 regional reps on 4 regional reps of IPOB in the United States on Sunday. In that meeting, the IPOB USA Financial Secretary will be there, and of course, IPOB Head of Finance will also be in that meeting, and maybe 1 or 2 more members of DOS. And the reason is that we are going to, by next week or before this, yes, by next week, let's put it better. By next week, our people will be properly directed on where they must begin to put in their contributions for the Eastern Security Network. We must continue on our fundraising, and I understand that the liaison team are preparing for a fundraising on the 6th of November. The liaison team are preparing. They have scheduled, I believe, a fundraising for the 6th of November, and I encourage every Biafran, wherever you may be, I do encourage all of you to be part of that fundraising, because that fundraising will be to ensure that our ESN is not lacking what they need to continue in their functions and carrying out their responsibilities. Biafra for us is not just a name. Biafra is our identity. Biafra is our heritage. And Biafra is all that we have, all that we have. For us, for our children, and for generations yet unborn. Biafra is all that we have, and every hand must be on deck to ensure that Biafra comes. We cannot begin to imagine Biafra, any life without Biafra, because it will be a life of servitude, it will be a life of sorrow and misery, and Chukwuabiama forbid. We are the children of Chukwu Okike, and Him alone, the creator of heaven and earth, Chukwuabiama, Him alone is Him whom we worship, and Him alone is whom we bow down to, and not to man, and not to anything that is made by man's hand. Therefore, great Biafrans, you must not fail to be your brother's keeper. As we enter the lockdown on the 5th of November, those of you whose hands are well off, you must look around and of course support your brother or your sister who may not be as buoyant as you are. And Chukwu Okike shall keep all of you. Chukwu Okike shall keep all of us. And Chukwuabiama shall bless the indigenous people of Biafra. And continue to put our leader in prayer. Yes, we have come to the end of the Psalms, but our prayer continues day and night on his behalf and on behalf of all Biafrans in Biafra land who are in a war front. We must continue to put them in prayer, and we must continue unceasingly to call down the spirits that own our land to fight this battle for us. Thank you so much for listening. And from me, from here, I want to say to you, may Chukwuabiama bless and be with all of you, and good evening from here. Thank you so much.